Why did you retire relatively early from the NBA?
Uh, bro, it's so many different reasons. But if I just give you the short version is just, a lot of things that was occurring at that time. I was already kind of, I ain't gonna say 1 foot out, but I was always, interested in, going on a journey, and I felt like too much of my time was being taken away from me. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I had too many people that were trying to, control my destiny. A lot of people had their hands in certain areas of my life that I just didn't want. I wasn't comfortable no more. You know what I'm saying? It got to a point where I wasn't really doing it for myself any longer. You know what I'm saying? You have um, so many expectations, and you just kind of like, damn. You kind of get blinded by, whether this is for you or not. So it's just like a lot of those things added up. I
Um,
feel like.
so you're talking about retiring early in the NBA because you felt like the joy was taken away and the business ends of things were just getting out of hand. You know what I mean? And plus, your love for music. I feel like your love for music gave you that freedom. You know what I mean? As opposed to
Yeah.
you felt constrained with the NBA, being in the NBA and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I just really wanted to live, bro. I just man, I was thirsty just to go on a journey, bro, and I just felt like my time was being zapped. And after my last season with the Minnesota Timberwolves being released, it felt good, and I felt like, you know what, I want to go on a journey. I feel like I want to go on a spiritual journey. That's what I was telling people at the time. But I was really just tapped in on just, I honestly looking back now, what I'm saying, I'm glad I did because it was a journey that I had to go on. But early on in it, I knew I was going on a journey, and I knew I needed my time to do it, and it felt good to have my time, bro. I'm like, damn, this feels good to not to say I'm wasn't responsible and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? But it felt good to have my own personal freedom, bro, and
Yeah,
not having people tell me where to be when any given time. So and then I started making music full time, and that right there just felt even better, bro. Just
and, and, and
and
people gotta understand from what maybe 14, you've been on this basketball journey. So after a while, you got exhausted. You got exhausted, and once the love got zapped out of it for you, you were like, hey, you were
yeah.
essentially Kyrie before Kyrie. If you when you think about it, that's what.
Definitely, definitely. I see a lot of Kyrie. I see a lot of myself in Kyrie in terms of just, a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I was a bit ahead of my time. Stuff that Kyrie's talking about now is how I felt then,
Indeed,
and
indeed.
that's how I definitely felt then.
I,
But
I I understand it. I understand it.
yeah,
Fully. When you explain it, I'm like, yo, this is exactly what Kyrie's talking about. Like, just you know what I mean? He how could he feel great about the life he's living, knowing what's going on out there in the world? And for you, you're like, there's more to this life than just me dribbling this basketball.
yeah, and I always took pride in, expressing more of myself than just basketball, bro. And it was kind of like I feel like, damn, man, do I got to separate myself in this game for people to see more of who I truly am and what I can actually bring to this world? And you continue to grow into that space, and that's a forever journey. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes, people still want to view you as a basketball player, but and I'm learning even to this day to be like, okay, I can't force nobody to view me how they choose to view me. You know what I'm saying? So all I can do is continue to produce things that I'm producing today and be who I am today. But I can't be who I am today unless I went on that journey. And I look back now, that journey was needed because, looking back, what 4 or 5 years later, I'm in rooms teaching guys how to make transitions. I'm in rooms telling people what it's like to transition from basketball into the real world, how things are going to be. And they, we have some mentors, but for them to hear it from a younger guy, it hit a lot different, versus me being 48 years old talking to these guys, these 20, 22-year-old, 23-year-olds about my experience. They was able to relate to me a lot more because I was a lot closer to their age range, and I was making music, so that was still a cool thing. So I believe that I don't want to say I was a sacrifice, but I definitely sacrificed a great deal of my basketball career, to be able to give back to others because I went out and got in the fire. And like I said, I love everybody. You know what I'm saying? I have no problems with nobody, but there was a point in time where I felt like, um, I was doing it for them. I wasn't doing it for myself no more. And once that became the issue, me already being like a real free spirited type person, it was a little different. And plus, and going back to college, you know what I'm saying? It felt like I was always the one saying like, yo, this shit is new age slavery, bro. I used to always joke around with my homies. I'm like, yo, this shit like new age slavery, bro.
That's the yo,
And
listen. That's the more in you, yo. That's you knowing yourself as a more knowing yourself.
yeah,
Like that's just you as a more.
yeah,
Because me personally, I commend you for that because so many people talk about chasing this bag, but they don't understand the sacrifice that comes with it. Like there's a lot of
right,
people who have the bag, but mentally they're not there. They're not mentally stable. You know what I'm saying? Because
right.
they were just it's all about the bag, the bag, the bag. And for you, you're like, listen, I'm fine without the bag. I need my freedom. I need my peace of mind. You know what I mean? Like talk
Yeah.
about it. How did you avoid the trappings of the NBA?
Avoid the trappings. I fell into some of the trappings, the lifestyle, the drinking, you know what I'm saying, hanging out all the time, the women. But honestly, I wanted to fall into it because I wanted to experience those things. I was pretty
But you
strict
never
all the
lost
way up.
yourself in it. You never lost yourself in it though.
No, 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 no. I know exactly what I was doing when I was doing it. I really enjoyed my youth when I could. I did everything I wanted to do in my 20s. And you know how people say you got certain things out your system. I believe I got it out my system. I started drinking late though. I started drinking around 21 years old. Michigan State had my drink after Michigan game, beat Michigan, a rival team. One of my homies at a party gave me my first drink, and that's how I knew. My mom always told me that alcohol run in our blood in our family, and from that point on, I was like, it felt like normal to me to drink. I'm like, yo, this shit, wow, and it was fun. You know what I'm saying? So honestly, I can look back and be like, damn, if I never would have stopped drinking, started drinking, that could have changed the trajectory, and I'm sure it would have. But nonetheless, man, that's the path I chose, and I was able to experience that, man. You know how the Moors say, a man doesn't learn by being told alone. So
Nope.
I understood what was right, what was wrong, but for me, I really wanted to experience these things because I was so disciplined all through high school, so disciplined my first 2 years of Michigan State. No drinking, barely even was, didn't go to no parties. So eventually, man, I caved into the lifestyle, so to
Well,
speak. So,
especially
I'm always going to take, yeah, Michigan
especially
State.
especially getting drafted by Dallas, you wouldn't get no burn. So eventually, it's hard to remain professional
Yeah,
when you're so young. You know what I mean? So yeah, those trappings became
yeah, exactly.
more viable. You know what I mean?
It became so much easier.
Yeah,
You're not gonna play the next game, so it's like, oh, we go party. And
yeah.
one thing I feel like I could have, I wish I had more mentor on it in terms of early on, even in college, was the balance. I can't remember anybody teaching me about balance. Like, hey man, it's cool to go out sometime. I was just, and then when I finally got a chance to start partying and stuff, I kind of felt like I was low key rebelling a little bit.
Mm,
You
mm,
feel me?
mm.
And
I
and,
get it. I
and
get
then
it. I get it. I get it. I
yeah,
get it.
yeah,
It's
but
like growing up.
that ain't that's
It's like growing up in a strict household, and then you go to college and you're free for the first time. You're like, what? This is what freedom feels like.
Yeah, but that's no blame on nobody, bro. I always made my
Sure.
choices. I made my own personal choices. I made my choices to be clean my first 2 years. I made my choice to have my first drink. That was all my choice. But when I did it, it definitely felt like I was missing out on stuff. And then from that point, man, I really enjoyed partying, bro. Like I really had a good time partying. I love partying, bro. So it's like, I had a good time in the league, bro. Partying, it's just fun, bro. When it was fun. And I'll tell you this, bro. I was partying during the time where social media wasn't cracking like that. So I was able to have a really good time. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Yeah.
wasn't, what I'm saying? I'm sure it got back to the team and stuff like that, but it wasn't
But
no
no,
John
no
Morant shit.
videos. Ain't no videos. Ain't no videos.
We had a genuine decent time, bro. But just fast forward, man. Yeah, man, I feel like the cons outweigh the pros in terms of me, my basketball experience. I can give you a whole list. You have to get the book for that, but
For
um,
sure. Oh, I'm gonna get
yeah,
the book. I want the
yeah,
autograph. I want a signed copy too. You know what I mean?
yeah.
um, were you able to manage your finances? Because I know you didn't play long in the league, so like I don't know how much you made in total, but were you able to manage your finances even though you weren't as disciplined at times?
Nah. I didn't do a good job with my finances. Period. You know what I'm saying? I was, spending money way more than I should have. I was giving money more than I should have. I definitely didn't do a great job with finances for sure.
Mm.
Um, becoming financial, what they say, literacy.
Literate,
That didn't
literate.
come to later on. You know what I'm saying? Till I got out the league. So once again, this is a part of the program. You know what I'm saying? When I was going back and talking to those guys, and we just like, um, when you're in the NBA, all they tell you, oh, don't worry about bills. You got somebody to do it for you. Don't worry about this. We never, well, at least when I was playing, they weren't teaching us how to, balance, checks and balances and stuff like that. It was like just focus on basketball, and that's what we did. So when I don't have financial advisors no more, and this that, and the other, when I go into the real world, learning how to pay my own bills, I struggled. You know what I'm saying? It was a real struggle for me because from college, everything was taken care of.
Mm,
Then
mm.
you come into the real world, and the real world doesn't care. They don't care if you wouldn't talk this stuff, because you was working on basketball.
No,
You know what I'm saying? So
no,
spent a
no.
lot of time, just learning how to just, transition into the real world and just, and yeah, a lot came with that. So once again, I'm grateful that I did it when I did because it's better than me retiring at 36, 37 years old and then trying to learn that stuff. I'm already, 13 years removed and, I'm still learning, still growing, still building. But it's definitely, and then with finances, bro, like what is that now? You know what I'm saying? Like, what I'm
Well,
saying? When banks
listen,
crack,
we know we've heard the
it's,
story. We hear the stories of ex-professional professional athletes who at the end of the career they're broke, they have no money, they have, you know what I mean, they
yeah,
struggle. So we hear the many stories. So it's nothing new, you know what I mean? And it's just it
right.
just goes to show you how much of a monster the system is that if you're not on your P's and Q's, like it'll eat you alive. You know what I mean? All that money you make for the system, they're gonna take it back. You know what I mean? In some way, shape,
Most
or
certainly,
form. You
most
know.
certainly.
So tell us about the hoops